Hello, guys. All right, let's see who's here. I'm going to start out the stream with a bit of a shout out to you guys who are new here or who just arrived. That is Queen Laura, Being Heath, Amara Oriana, I know you from Twitch, Hannah McAllister, Jeff, hey Sheen, how are you? Poop 101, love your username. Pedro, or Pedro, yes. Gabriel, I think it's Gabriel. Nick Pearls, Daisy, wonderful. Rex, who else is here? Yere. Nice. Philip, Artemis, I feel like I've seen you before. Maybe in the comment section. Melanie, Sean, Instrument Addict, Ms. Dallimore, I know you. How are you? Farfel, I also know you. Let's see. WAA, hello. Aspenx, I remember you as well. Canon Guy 1, also remember you. I think both of you have commented on my videos before. So let's go. Yeah, I think that's like, whoa, all the highs are coming in right now. Holy moly. Nicholas, I believe you're also here. Lily, Caesar, Zoa, wonderful. So I wanted to direct you guys to, I'm just gonna say this now, just we have it right, just so you guys know. I think I have successfully enabled super chat. So as you guys can see, holy crap. So Overload, Bella Grace, hello. As you can see, it is going crazy. The chat's going crazy. So if you want your chat to show up for a longer amount of time, I think I enabled super chat. So it essentially is you guys tipping me. So if you guys want to do that, absolutely go ahead. Let me see if I can also head on over to, I'm just gonna go to my YouTube studio as well. This is the first time I'm live streaming with the new kind of like setup on YouTube. So I'm gonna have to feel it out a little bit. So I hope you guys don't mind. So the live chat. Okay, so I have, let's see. Okay. If there are any super chats, I could probably see it coming through over here. So wonderful. Okay. First things first, guys. You guys like how I have the little logo here? I'm not gonna lie, put it there last minute. I realized, wait a second, this is a sponsored live stream, so I need to have the logo there. So yes, this is absolutely a sponsored live stream by the Flute Center of New York. So thank you, Flute Center of New York, for sponsoring this live stream. We are opening this box as I have been hyping. So I have no idea what's in here. This is something that we've been doing for some time now, just because both the Flute Center of New York and I feel like it's more fun this way, so they can get more of like a genuine reaction out of me when I open this. So as you can see, it is a smaller box. It's not super like long. It's not as long as, like, it's not even long enough to fit a typical flute case. So my initial reaction is maybe these are head joints, maybe these are piccolos. It is kind of hefty for a piccolo, so I don't know what's in here. Or it could just be straight up different gadgets that I'm not familiar with. So we have that. I have my scissors ready. Okay, now, as usual, before we continue, okay, with the live stream, let's go over all of our little rules and stuff like that. You guys remember? Okay, so if you want to use my code JAF to purchase flutes and stuff from the Flute Center of New York, I would be absolutely grateful. It would help me out. I do earn a small commission from it, so thank you very much if you do decide to help me out. It's just JAF. That's all. That's what the code is. Okay. So you guys, if you order through the Flute Center of New York, you can just use that in the discount code like section, when you check out, or you can just give it to the Flute Center of New York just when you email them or call them and stuff like that to set up a trial. So couple of rules, a couple of perks with this code, JAF code. I have to practice doing this live, guys, so it'll get better in the future. But yeah, first thing is you get free domestic shipping within the US. You get a 10-day trial instead of 7 days. You get an extended 18-month warranty on your new flute, and you can take up to 3 instruments out on trial at a time. Make sure, yes, we have to remove jewelry. So remove your rings and stuff. I'm married, that's why I'm wearing a ring, okay? But remove your rings when you try flutes for the first time. Make sure you're in the market to buy when you ask for a trial. You can ask for a trial via phone or email. You can just go to the Flute Center of New York's page, to their info page, has their contact info. You can go chat them up there. And yeah, so what else? I'm trying to remember all this right off the fly. Usually these parts are like edited out. I have spent like 20 minutes just filming the beginning intros before. Those intros that only take like about like 1 or 2 minutes. In reality, it can take me several takes to get them. But yeah, so some other perks. I think the Flute Center of New York will price match any other authorized dealer. When you try flutes, make sure you don't use the polishing cloth, the cleaning gauze, and the cleaning rod that comes with each new flute, because they are not yours yet. Please don't get your slobber on something that will potentially belong to someone else, okay? The Flute Center of New York actually has to replace those things. So yeah, don't do that, okay? And then let me think. Yeah, I guess last but not least, the flute chooses the flutist, okay? So please don't take what I say here in these reviews as law. It is not law. Okay, let me repeat that again. It is not law. See, I don't get to repeat it this much when I'm editing a video because it takes up too much time, okay? But I have gotten word that some people think that my opinions of the flutes are the end-all be-all, and they're not, okay? These are just my reactions to these flutes and to these instruments, but you will react differently to them, okay? So please do your own research, and you can take what I say about it as Joanna's perspective, and that's it, okay? Yeah, let's see. Wonderful. What are you guys saying? Oh, thank you for the congrats on my marriage. I do appreciate it. Does anyone know what microphone I use? I use a very old microphone. It's called Apex 440. You cannot find it anymore. It is way too old. It's like at least 10 years old. And I don't know why it's still working. All right. Wonderful. Okay. Shall we get to it? I'm just going to check my notes right now. Make sure I didn't leave anything out of what I was supposed to say. All right. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to look here. I think I did say everything. Oh my gosh. Guys, we are at one thing. I left one thing out. And I've been leaving this out in my previous reviews as well. When you get your box, okay? Let's say you got your trial. You will be charged shipping up front, okay? And then when you actually purchase the instrument, the cost of the shipping will be refunded back to you, okay? So that's the one thing I've been missing. But we got everything else, guys. So you know what that means? We are gonna open this box. Yeah. Oh, man. No touchy the clots. I like what Lucas says here. Excellent. Very good. I have to say, guys, I far more enjoy live streaming because I like to talk to you guys directly. But I did have to kind of ignore you guys for a little bit there to get through the entire intro. No touchy. Yes. Yes, that's right. I will say as like an extra tip. Okay. So since I have to open this box anyway, so I'm opening this box. It's just down here. Okay. It's just that the camera can't see it. But while I'm opening this box, I will give you guys a little bit of a tip. When, if you're like me and you have really oily skin, go and just very quickly rinse off your hands and dry them, and it'll help take off a lot of the oil, at least in the beginning of your trial. Okay, so people who don't have this problem, who like don't have like the super oily fingers, you guys don't have to worry about this so much. But there are those of us out there who have the most oily fingers on earth. Like if I'm going to a concert and I'm just holding like, you know, the concert program, just from holding it, the oils in my fingers will warp the paper. So like I can just warp paper from holding it. Okay, so if you're like me, before you start trying flutes, go rinse off your hands. The best is if you do a full like soap, water, you know, do the whole like wash it all 20 seconds, you know, sing the ABC song to yourself twice, you know, while you're slathering up. Like it's the best if you can do that, because that gets rid of the most oil. But there you go, guys. See, this part I also cut from videos. See? This is, oh, hello. Guys, I think they are Piccolos. Let me check. Hey, there it is. I think they are Piccolos. Looks like there are 3 Piccolos in here. I'm very surprised by how heavy they are. Ah, that means, guys, we need to get out my earplugs. I think my earplugs are in here. So I have not had the opportunity to show this on camera on YouTube yet. So this is the first time you guys are seeing this on YouTube. My Twitch peeps know about this already though. But earlier this year, I finally put my foot down and bought special musicians earplugs. They are particularly good for, you know, a musician, because it blocks out, you know, the harmful, I guess, levels of frequencies. You science people out there will probably want to just kind of choke with my description, but essentially it blocks out the loudest frequencies so that it doesn't damage your ears, but it lets you hear everything else, which is perfect for a musician. The reviews on this were hilarious, because some people were like, oh, you know, like I bought these earplugs to go to sleep and I can hear everything. And I'm like, honey, that's exactly what it's supposed to do. So anyway, these guys are slightly unfortunately named though, but they work very well. They are called, and I'm not even joking, eargasm earplugs. That's right. You heard it right. Eargasm earplugs. And if I can get it to focus, it focused for a hot second there and then it didn't. There we go. Eargasm earplugs. Yeah. So you can find these on Amazon just by typing in eargasm earplugs. So musicians earplugs, all right, and they come with little filters. So there's little blue filters that you can pop into the earplugs. I bought these ones specifically because also, this might be TMI for some of y'all, but I have a lot of wax buildup. Okay, so I get real embarrassed when I have to use like most other like earplugs or earbuds and stuff like that. I get wax like all up in there. It is disgusting. So the reason why I get these ones is because you can pop these filters out really easily, and then you can wipe down the whole thing and clean off the rest of the earplug very easily. So for people who are like me, you may like these. But there's another a pair of earplugs that are really good that a lot of musicians like, which I think are called erasers. Those ones are also really good. But there you go. Okay. Yeah, you guys want these earplugs too? I know, right, Lucas? Oh my. Eargasm. I know. Ooh. But they work really well. So I've used them for several practice sessions, used them for several rehearsals. So looks like we're going to bust these guys out today to try these guys. 30 to 50 bucks. Yeah, that's about right. Because I think I paid about 35 for mine. All right, guys. So I just have a little bit of paperwork to put off to the side, so I'm just not going to show that on camera right now. But some of the things that they include, these little like postcardy type things. They have a little trial postcard thing. I don't normally get to show you guys these things too, but they include this in every single trial, which is awesome. It has all of the little rules that we talked about. So really good stuff. And then I believe this is a little postcard about their podcast. Cool stuff. Very good. And then what's this one? This is all the Club FCNY perks. So this is the trials, kind of like little rules and stuff like that. And then this is like the Club FCNY perks, which are the same perks that you get using my code JAF. Okay, so they include all the perks on this little postcard too, just in case you forget what what those perks are. Okay, so they have all that information for you, so you don't have to like memorize it. Okay, they do put it in the box for you, which is awesome. I like that they started doing that. That was really awesome to know. But okay, I have my shipping slip over there, so I just put it over there. Okay, I am now going to look at the invoice. Okay, so we have, looks like a Sonare Piccolo. This must be the descendant of my old Piccolo. Excellent. So I probably know how to play that one. Trevor James Blaze Piccolo. Ooh, that's interesting. And we have an Amadeus by Haynes Piccolo. This is a brand new item. They were just released over the summer. Oh, exciting, guys, exciting. And then we also have an Amadeus by Haynes Piccolo head joint. Okay, sounds good. So let me check, because there are 3 Piccolos in here. So I'm just going to check the Haynes one. So Amadeus by Haynes is this. Got our little Haynes logo there. Ooh, nice case. I like it. Ooh, this is interesting. So on the inside of here, there's actually like I'm going to take this out and put it on the side, okay? But inside the case, they have a little zipper compartment inside of here. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Normally, you either see the zipper compartment on the outside, or none at all. So that's pretty cool, having it on the inside. See, it should be a plastic rod. No, it's a wooden one. Wow. Okay. All right, Haynes, I see you. So this is a wooden cleaning rod. My goodness. Comes with silk Piccolo swab. I think this is exactly the same one that I have. I have this exact one. So comes with that. So it looks like we're just starting with the Haynes. But I just wanted to see what they said in here. Okay. So, okay. It looks like this head joint is just included in it. Got it. Okay. Got it. So we have 3 Piccolos here. So why don't we just start with the Haynes? Why not? Let's just start from the bottom up. So bottom of the list, not bottom in quality. Bottom of the list. It just happens to be the bottom of the invoice list, okay? All right. So let's do this. We're going to type this out for you guys. I knew that this was going to be a thing. Like, I was going to have to include this. So you guys are going to see me typing this. Text. Okay, we're going to call this Haynes. This is Amadeus by Haynes. So I'm just gonna call it Amadeus Pick. Let's call it that. I think you guys should already see it up there. Yeah, but I'll make it so that, and then let's make it bigger. Okay, there we go. I'll move it in a bit, guys. So this is going to be Amadeus by Haynes, Piccolo. Okay, so we're looking at Grenadilla. I thought I would just like write it out for you guys here. So Grenadilla, wood body and head joint. So silver plated keys. All right, and I'm just gonna put here that the head joint is traditional style. So there's no like wave cut or anything like that. Okay, like it's not carved in a really interesting way. It's just kind of like a hole. So let's put here outline. I'm gonna select a color, which is black. Yeah, see, right? Easier to read, am I right? Let's make this, there we go. That's also easier to read. Okay, we're going to pop that into the bottom here. Actually, here's actually a great spot. Okay, so we're gonna put that there. So you guys now know what I'm dealing with here, okay? Eventually, as I do these live streams more, I'll have a better idea of like what kind of tiles and stuff I need. So this is kind of partially experimental as well. All right, let's give this a go. Do you guys remember the order in which I do things? Okay, so first thing is harmonics. Melanie, Fluter Scooter followed you on Instagram and you freaked. Fluter Scooter is awesome, by the way. Excellent. I'm just kind of catching up with what you guys are saying. Yeah, your Piccolo has a metal rod. Yeah, that sounds right, actually. Some of them have metal rods. Some of the older ones, I think it is. Wonderful. All right, so Clayton is excited about the blaze. Excellent. Yep, Lucas is surprised, excited, something like that. Caps lock, at least, for the Sonare. Excellent. Okay, very good. Wow, I talk way more on these than on my Twitch streams, so I am glad I have the water ready. Do I offer online lessons still? Absolutely, I do. So if you go to my website, JustAnotherFlutist.com, you'll see I have an online lessons page. You could read all about how that works there. So here we go. I'm just going to pop in my earplugs. Piccolo for a beginner. Well, I'm going to guess that you don't want to, use too much money for it, yeah? So in the case of not spending too much money, probably something like a Jupiter. Jupiter is very, very reliable. All right, guys, putting this guy together. Okay. Woo. All right. So shiny. Okay. Right. Let's think about the order in which we want to do this. Harmonics is first. Then I'll play around with tone color a bit. I'm probably going to have to pop in and out my earplugs so I can hear it properly. I'm going to play with dynamics, articulation, and then mechanism. There are 5 things. All right. So I kind of came up with this list because I noticed that it was a really fantastic way to keep things kind of consistent among my reviews, because I didn't want my reviews to be so wildly different that you can't actually compare them. So let's try it, shall we? Here we go. Would a $900 flute be worth it for an intermediate player? Most intermediate flutes will actually go above that price, unfortunately. So like a the cheapest like good beginner flute you'll find is about 400, and then like on the higher end is about 700, 800, and that's only for a beginner flute. So that should give you a better idea. All right, guys, we're gonna do harmonics. Let's actually make another thing. Another text. So, testing. We're gonna call this testing, and then we will call this. Well, let me make sure I have the right thing. Okay. Harmonics. There we go. We are going to give it an outline. There we go. Outline. And then select color. We want it to be black. Excellent. Okay, so we are doing harmonics right now. Oh, come on. I moved something else entirely. Oh well, I will find out very soon what that is. It's one of the things that I'm not using right now. Okay. Here we go, harmonics. So, I'll be doing harmonics on D. So, I'm just figuring it out. Don't judge me, okay? All right. So what I was doing right there was trying to figure out what I need to do to maintain that top F sharp. I was doing that top F sharp as a harmonic on D. So, yeah. I'm still getting the hang of what this might be. So I need to play around with it a little bit more. Okay, so I've just realized I have to kind of keep a pocket of air like down here. So I wouldn't say it's like bullfrog, but it's sort of like I need a pocket of air just behind my bottom front teeth. So I guess if you play very kind of bottom heavy, you might really like this piccolo. Thanks, Libra. Libra said there's 90 of you guys watching, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you. I do appreciate that. it's a very bottom heavy piccolo, which is very interesting. I don't know if I have felt a piccolo that feels this bottom heavy. Like, you really kind of feel like you have to play like that. So if you play like that on the flute, you might really like this. All right. I think that's good for harmonics for now. Let's noodle around a little. Callum is asking if I can get a piccolo with a C-sharp trill. They absolutely do exist. I would say they probably exist on higher level models. Resistant for me. All right. Okay, I think the best that I can describe this piccolo, and it's not intuitive to me, which is why I think you guys are hearing me struggle a little bit. But essentially what you have to do is you have to keep a nice pocket of air behind your bottom front teeth, kind of like as if you are like holding a ball in there or a marble. And then in terms of directing your air, you're actually directing your air more across for the lowest notes. And as you go higher, it's actually directing further and further down. So it's actually a little bit counterintuitive. Yeah, that's what it feels like. So, a little bit counterintuitive to me. So I have to really think about it when I'm doing it. I'm gonna get a new microphone entirely. It's not worth it getting a windscreen for this, let me tell you. Okay. Yeah, okay, if I really think about it, and I like direct that air like for like downwards while holding that kind of pocket of air, then it works. So, all right, we figured it out, guys. So now it's time to do the other stuff now. So harmonics, we've done harmonics. Now let's do, I'm actually going to use my personal piccolo flag to wipe this out. Piccolo flags are very expensive, but if you use them as often as I do, they're very worth it. I think I spent like $40 on this thing. It's pretty insane. Okay, so harmonics. Now we should do, why don't we do a little bit of tone color, I would say. So because we know that there's that pocket of air there, and we know that we're kind of angling there up and down, I'm going to make a guess that when we're playing with tone color, we're playing with that pocket of air. This is just a wild guess, okay? So I'm going to actually take out my earplug that is now, as I predicted, full of wax. Going to put it off to the side here. And I'm going to play with that pocket of air. Now, the idea is that if you like smash it vertically this way, like that pocket of air, or your airstream, it could be that too, then what happens is that the sound will get kind of more hollow. That's typically what happens. Or if you smash it the other way, so if you smash it horizontally, it gets a little thicker. So I'm going to guess that it has to do with that pocket of air there. I'm going to guess, okay? If not, then I will play with the airstream itself. But because on the piccolo, the airstream itself is so tiny, it's usually very difficult to play with tone color because there's not much to play with, you know? So, okay. Here we go. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys hear that? It's always harder on higher notes. You can really hear it on the lower notes, though. Whoa, whoa. I didn't realize how much you could see me contorting to do that. Yeah. Okay. It's definitely that pocket of air. So that pocket of air just behind your bottom front teeth, if you squash it like horizontally, like that, okay, so it's nice and flat, you get a really rich, like crazy, like rich chocolatey sound. Then if you squash it the other way, you sound more like a penny whistle, like it's thinner, okay? It's really good for stuff like I hope I don't get copyrighted for this. Treasure Planet. Okay. If you want that really thin sound, then you kind of like squash it. Yeah. All right. Gabrielle is asking a very interesting question. How do you really know what type of player you are? You don't know until you try. So you try a bunch of different flutes, and then you get a feel of what resists you and what doesn't. Okay? And so if you find that there's a certain flute that resists you like crazy, you can kind of tell, like, how are you trying to contort your mouth to fit that flute? And the way that you're contorting your mouth is probably not actually how you're supposed to play. Okay? Because ideally, if you find the flute that fits you the best, you're not contorting. Okay? So if you are contorting, it means that flute doesn't fit you. Okay? Whenever and however you feel you're contorting, that's like pretty much not what you're going to do. So you use that as a negative reference so that you get a feel of like, what do you actually do? Okay? All right. So that was tone color, guys. Let's now test dynamics, because I feel like that kind of goes really nicely. So dynamics. I'm a contortionist too. Essentially, that is correct. That is correct. So I'm using the very like thin sound for that one, because it sounds wrong, you know, if you do it with the other one. Like, oh, that's too beefy, you know. All right, let me get through dynamics and I'll give you that tip on how to get started with the piccolo. Okay, so Let's figure out dynamics. I'm gonna guess it also has to do with that bubble of air, but on top of that, your airstream itself has to be bigger, which means your embouchure has to be a little bit bigger too, for forte, and then you shrink everything down for piano, including that kind of pocket of air behind the teeth. Yeet. I was right. So this is why, guys, I always play with harmonics first, because essentially you need to know what shape the instrument wants out of you. Once you know what the shape is inside of your mouth that you need to do, and like kind of like the general like path that the air is taking in your mouth, everything else that we're doing beyond this point is just manipulating that, right? So as you can tell from tone color, I was manipulating that pocket of air. For dynamics, I am manipulating both the pocket of air and the airstream itself. And it kind of, from here on out, you're kind of messing with like the similar ideas of you generally flatten things out to make it richer, flatten it out vertically to make it thinner. You enlarge everything for it to be forte, put more air through, shrink everything down, put less air through for piano, but you also have to support like crazy. Otherwise, you go real flat. Okay? Oh, thank you, Libra. All right, so piccolo. The most important thing to know about the piccolo is that you have to pretend you are playing through those little coffee stir straws, those really thin ones. You have to pretend you're playing through that. That is piccolo playing. So that's my tip. Okay? If you try to play the piccolo the way you play the flute, you ain't getting a sound out of that. All right? Okay. Let's move on. We've done 3 things now. Let's move on to let's do mechanism. We'll play with articulation after. So mechanism. So we are looking at what's on here first, okay? So, do we have a split E? Yes. Yes? No? No. No, I don't think we do. So no split E. I'll give you guys a nice close-up of it, okay? So no split E, I believe. Yeah, see here? It's connected. And then if you go like this, it doesn't make this one go down by itself. Is it? Oh, no, it is! It has a split E! I was wrong, guys! Split E. You see that? It makes this one go down by itself, right? So that makes your high E's come out a lot better. So split E. Everything else looks pretty standard. There's no C-sharp trill. Very rarely do piccolos have C-sharp trills. I do notice that these keys, they feel a little bigger than some other piccolos I've tried. So for those of you, and it's a little bit more spread out than I am used to. So I do wonder if this may feel nicer for people with slightly bigger hands. I think so, actually. Excellent. So yeah, I am a little bit more spread out than usual. But the mechanism itself, very nice, very piccolo-y, has a little bit of resistance, okay? I wouldn't say that it's super light, but it's also not super, like, super hard. So I think very nicely built for larger hands, all right? Because you get the bigger keys, you also get a slight resistance, which I find that people with bigger hands typically like flutes with a little bit more resistance, like flutes and piccolos, that is. Okay, so we're going to try F major now. 2 octaves. Yep, very even. We're going to try a bit faster. Yeah, very even. Very even. Lovely. Ooh. I would almost describe it like butter. Okay. I'm going to try is the key word here, scales and thirds, F major as well. butter. Butter, man. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, it's like the Goldilocks of resistances. Yeah, that's very nice. Very even. Yeah. So I definitely think people with bigger hands might like this one more. I think so. I definitely think so. I know. I'm great like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on, shall we? Articulation. So we are going to be testing out first single tonguing. As soon as we figure out single tonguing, we'll be able to figure out double tonguing. Okay? So let me reiterate. We are going on kind of the idea of, you know, what it was like when I figured it out doing harmonics, right? So let me reiterate. Pocket of air behind your bottom front teeth. So playing this piccolo is quite bottom heavy, okay? And also aiming the air is a little bit counterintuitive. For your higher notes, they actually need to be tilted downwards just a bit. I also have bubble wrap stuck to my feet right now. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. Okay. And then when you play really low, you're actually playing more across the hole. Okay? Hey Jake, how are you? Okay, so right. Now when it comes to articulation, essentially what you want to do is articulate in such a way that it does not obstruct the airflow that much, like minimally. Okay? So because we know that the pocket of air is in the bottom of our mouth, I'm going to guess it'll sound cleaner if I tongue higher up, okay? So if I tongue like against my top front teeth rather than further down, okay, it's probably going to be cleaner because the tongue is not going to be as close to that pocket of air down there. All right, so that's the thought right now. We're going to test it. I'm gonna play the F major scale tongued a few times, and I'm gonna try to move my tongue in slightly different places, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I have a working theory. So that was really low. I don't know if you guys heard how like tha 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 that was, like th th th. If I tongue a little higher. Yeah, that sounds nice. So that's like the back of my teeth. However, something very interesting about this is that because as you go higher, you're actually kind of tilting your airstream like this. Okay, so this is lower notes, and then as you go higher, you're tilting it like this. All right, so the back end of your airstream also goes up in your mouth. So because you're doing that, I find that since the airstream is dropping like this, I actually have to tongue. So first I'm tonguing here, so higher up. And then I find that because it's dropping like this, if I tongue too far up, it obstructs the airstream that's being tilted. So I have to move it down. So as I'm tonguing higher, I'm actually moving my tongue further down my tooth and then back up my tooth as I go lower. So lower is up the tooth. As I go high, I'm going to go down the top tooth. So I'm talking about my top front teeth, that is. Okay, so we start kind of in the middle, go down a bit, up. So we're basically following the tilt of our airstream. Okay? Yeah. You guys notice it too, eh? Oh, I know which Jake you are now. You're from Twitch, right? Okay. you go higher, the tongue has to dip down, and then it comes back up again. Okay, so what does this say about our double tonguing? It means that, so wherever you're single tonguing, you have a corresponding spot for your double tongue. So this means that as I go down, my double tonguing also has to go forward a little bit too, and then come back. So that K part of the double tonguing, I would say, I'm going to guess, because we are hitting our back tooth, and this is the piccolo, we're going to have to really imagine that the K part of the double tonguing is hitting the middle of the roof of the mouth, if not a little bit further up, like 1/3 the way back from your teeth, like quite far up. All right. Messy, but I think it works. Let me try it again. Cool. I think my stream just blipped a little bit, so I apologize for that. Einstein, come join us on Twitch. You're gonna see me every day. Like, I'm streaming tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. my time. It's listed on my my Twitch. My Twitch. It is actually listed on my Twitch. So if you go to my Twitch channel, JustAnotherFlutist. Okay, I only chose JustAnotherFlutist because I forgot the password to JustAnotherFlutist, because I made JustAnotherFlutist when it was still justin.tv, not like before they got bought out by Twitch. I've actually been there for a long time. I just wasn't active. Anyway, okay, so double tonguing, the K part, when your tongue is just hitting the middle of the front tooth, your top front tooth, the K part is kind of like, I would say, middle of the mouth. But then as you travel down the tooth, as you go higher, the K part starts to hit kind of like as far forward as possible on the roof of the mouth. What is Twitch? Twitch is primarily a gaming streaming platform, but I stream myself practicing. Yeah. So go there, have fun, join us there. We're there every day. Every weekday, that is. I like what Jake is saying. Join us. Join us. Ooh, did you hear how clean that was up top? Because I was really trying to make myself tongue really far down the tooth. Ooh, that was nice. Okay, I think we figured it out though. So, guys, I think we figured out kind of a base sort of knowledge of how this piccolo works. Excellent. My mouth is getting dry. I think it's time for me to start, well, not start, but get a drink of water. And then we're going to try the next piccolo. Yeah? So we're going to continue up the list. We're going to do Trevor James. Fine, Hans. I'll do some flutter tonguing for you. Fine. Fine. Ooh, wow. So I guess to do this, I also have to do it very far forward, which I'm not very good at because I can't actually roll my R's. Okay, there you go. I did the flutter tonguing. Now I have to swab it out again. All right. Actually, before I take out the next one, I'm just going to give this one a quick wipe down with my trusty microfiber polishing cloth. Again, just because my fingers tend to be quite oily. So this little baby's new, so I want to make sure that, you know, whoever this ends up going to will enjoy him or her without getting all of my fingerprints all over. You know? Okay, that looks much better. So we're going to set this off to the side. So in the back here, okay, there we go. In the back there is the Haynes. Okay, let's do Trevor James. So Here we go. Trevor James. All right. As usual, you got your logo here. See what I was talking about? Usually, the pocket's on the outside, right? See that? So, oh my gosh! This is also a wooden cleaning rod! My mind is so blown right now. My gosh. Well, hello. People upping their Piccolo game. Look at that. Okay, so on the inside, you get your microfiber polishing cloth. I love it. Do you guys see? It says, do not use the cloths. I love that Flute Center of New York has started getting these stickers on. Nice white plush lining. Okay. I also noticed that they actually branded their inside case too with their logo. That's a nice touch. You actually don't see that very often. Ooh, okay, so this one's interesting because this one comes with a cap. Sometimes you see this. Sometimes it comes with a cap on top of the neck. So we're just going to pop this baby out. There we go. Kind of keeps it more moist. Okay. 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 Oh, this is interesting. So I immediately can see from the cutting of this hole that it is very, very rectangular. So this is the sound on this Piccolo is probably going to cut a lot more. Like it's going to be probably extremely responsive. Okay, now let me just compare the two hole, like lip holes for you. Oh, this is hard. Okay, this is the Haynes. This is the Trevor James. I think you can see. Look at how insane that is. This one is much more oval. This one is much more rectangular. Isn't that crazy? That is so cool. So, yeah. So, usually what you're looking at is like if you can see that the lip cut is like very like, you know, rectangular, usually it's a lot more responsive. Like it's like an immediate response. The other thing that this guy has is a little bit of like a wave cut. You see this little ridge? See that? Yeah, there you go. You can see it in the light. Yeah, there you go. See that ridge? That you see how this part is like suddenly there's like this little ridge here. So I think that's typically called a wave cut. Let's see if it actually says so in the invoice here. Yes. Yeah. I know my stuff. Finally. I will. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Okay. I have not learned as much about flutes as much as I have working with the Flute Center of New York. It's just, I know it might seem like I know a lot about flutes, but let me tell you, I always feel like I don't know enough because it's just that the technology just keeps going, you know? So when I do recognize things, it's only because I've actually seen it often enough. Okay, it's not that I've like memorized all these facts. So guys, let's write down these specs for you guys, yeah? So I'm going to put this over here. Oh! So we are going to change this up now. So now we're looking at a Trevor. Okay, Trevor James. There we go. Blaze Piccolo. I did not know that they had come out with this, so this is extremely exciting for me. Grana. I can't spell. Okay, Granadilla wood Piccolo with modified wave head joint. I am so dang proud of myself for noticing that. Okay, silver plated keys. Okay. Split E. Okay, this one has a split E as well. I realized that the Haynes also has a split E. French style case cover. Oh, I think you guys know that. You guys saw that. So I'm not going to write that down. Cool. Excellent. So we're going to put that away. Excellent. And now, For testing, we are going to, as usual, start out with harmonics, and after harmonics we're gonna like noodle around a little bit, do harmonics again. So it's okay, fine, I'll call it harmonics and noodling. All right, there we go, harmonics and noodling, and I will move that over for you guys. There you go. Yeah, noodling, it is a very, very technical term, you know. David, you have the worst Piccolo story. Tell it to us while I'm figuring this out. Oh, did Jake leave? Goodbye, Jake. Hope you're having a lovely day. Okay, so we're going to do harmonics. Trevor James, Blaze. Let's see how this goes. Ooh, ooh. These keys are also nice and spread out. Wait a second. I want to compare. Yo, both of these Piccolos have their keys really spread out. Like this one even more so. Okay, so if you have very large hands, you'll like this Piccolo. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I actually feel like I have to like stretch my fingers out a little bit. That's really interesting. Oh. I always wonder how they manage to do that and still keep like the same like similar size, you know? Like it's incredible. I will say the keys feel a little bit less resistant than the Haynes. They're a little lighter. Yeah, a little bit lighter. Just a little bit. But it still has that kind of typical Piccolo mechanism resistance. Yeah. But generally a little bit lighter. What does noodling mean? Noodling means just playing around. Just like, you know, just kind of... You know when I go... Yeah, that's what I call noodling. As you can tell, I very much have not figured this out yet. So, harmonics first. We're going to figure this guy out, okay? And then as I discover things like the Amadeus, I'll let you guys know. Yeah, very responsive. I also feel like I can play with a wider airstream than normally. Okay, so automatically, I have to say, if you have trouble playing like a typical Piccolo because the airstream has to be so darn tiny, so definitely I feel like this Piccolo was made for a bigger person. So like even your lips are bigger and you have trouble like getting that tiny like airstream out. This allows you to have a slightly wider airstream. That's very cool. Like, I feel like this is almost like an in-between flute and piccolo embouchure. So it's not quite as big as a flute embouchure, but it's not quite as small as I'm normally used to. Ooh, yeah, very responsive. Do you notice? Like, I'm not even trying to get that harmonic and it just popped right out. Okay, I can get it out, but it's obvious that I'm not doing the correct thing for it to like come out easily. So it should be able to pop right out. I was also struggling in the beginning with the Amadeus until I figured it out. So excuse me for a second while I figure this out. Very easy to change your pitch on this guy. I wonder if it has to do with the cut being so, like, you know, rectangular. Maybe? I don't know. struggling to get that top one out. My initial reaction is that that pocket of air now is around my teeth, like kind of in front of it. So like I have to be very loose, like the piccolo has to be very loose against my lip. Okay, specifically, the pocket of air is like around my bottom front teeth. Like it's sort of like, I feel like I can actually feel it circling around my bottom front teeth. Oh my gosh, David. Oh, it broke right after opening your Roy Seaman. Oh. Wait, I want to see. Yeah. Your Rezona Burkhart cracked 3 months in. Oh my gosh. No, and then the cork fell off on your Roy Seaman. No. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. Oh, I'm so sorry. Ooh, did you hear that like pop open? Yeah, it's because I remembered that I have to like keep that area around my bottom teeth nice and free. Not cute. Okay, I'm trying to get the top one. All the other ones are cute, but not the top one. Are these flutes gifted? No. Oh, no. And I don't want them as gifts. They are many monies. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you guys. Thank you for the reminder. I do have to tell you, the Haynes Amadeus that's here, the Amadeus by Haynes Piccolo, is $2,495. Okay, so it is a pretty penny. All right, that's probably why it plays so darn well. But yeah, it's no, I don't want to keep these actually. Okay, because it is a lot of money. Also, these piccolos they don't exactly fit me actually. Okay, so I wouldn't actually play them very much. They should go to people that actually fit them and will enjoy them, and the two of them can be a pair. Okay. It's like the wand choosing the wizard, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, I send them right back, okay? Like, oh, please. Yeah, like, insurance for these things would go through the roof if they were all gifted to me. So, yeah, no, okay? I know that that might be a dream for some people, but it ain't my dream. My dream is just to try them and then send them back, which is exactly what I'm living. It's fantastic. Okay. Peek it out. So I have, it's almost sounds, it's kind of weird, but I feel like I have to hit a certain point like against my lip. My airstream is hitting it and then being bounced out to a certain point out here. So it's as if I'm going like this, and then as I go higher, I'm actually hitting a higher point in my lip, and then the lip is directing it back down to that same point. So So like the air travels like this for low notes, and then for high notes it's like it travels like this and then down. So it's not like on the Haynes where I really felt it coming out like this. It's like I really feel it bouncing against my lip and then it back into the piccolo. When it's that type of like airstream where it's not as, you know, like I guess simple as just like tilting the airstream, it is a little bit more finicky. So I have to feel it out a little bit more. Okay, that might not be right. I'm still figuring it out. Out. I'm also going to noodling to like try and figure out if my hypothesis is correct. Hello, Soul Sister. Welcome to the stream. I'm figuring it out. Okay. So, I think it is exactly what I said, except the one thing I missed was just how much pressure it is. It is a lot of pressure. So, you will need to make sure that your lips are up to snuff. Okay? So, okay. All right, guys. We figured it out. So, similar to the Haynes, in which there is a pocket of air and then separately your airstream works kind of like over it. Okay, so pocket of air is around the teeth, the bottom front teeth, like here. Like you should actually kind of feel them like as if they've been sort of subtly vibrated. Okay, when you play. So you can feel it kind of swirling around your bottom front teeth, and that remains kind of throughout the entire range of the piccolo. Now, the actual like airstream itself, what you're doing is well, at least for me, I feel like I'm playing against my top lip. So whereas on the Haynes, the Amadeus by Haynes, I felt like I was actually just kind of like playing like kind of across the piccolo or into the piccolo. On this particular piccolo, the Trevor James Blaze, I feel like I'm playing against my lip. And I actually wonder if part of the reason why I have to do that is because it's cut like this, like with the wave, because the wave ridge also helps direct the air kind of into the piccolo. It's cut in this kind of like super square rectangular shape. So there's not much resistance. So essentially this is my suspicion, is that you have to provide the resistance for this piccolo. I think that's it. So you are providing the resistance with your top lip. I think that's what it is. I will do an F scale soon. Don't worry about it. I think I figured it out though. So yay. Okay, we're going to go in the same order as what we were doing before. So we are going to be doing tone color next. So I'm going to guess it has to do with that area around the teeth. We're going to flatten that area, that pocket of air, flatten that pocket of air this way to make it really rich, and then flatten it this way to make it really thin. So we'll see if that works, because I'm going to guess that I can't do anything with that airstream. So let's try this. Tone color. Okay. Here we go. And I'm doing this on a B. It's exactly what I thought. You don't understand tone color. So tone color is the difference between here's the thing, is that tone color sounds different to everyone. Everyone interprets it differently, which is why it's always kind of like the top most asked question right now, sort of in the flute world. So everyone experiences it a little bit differently. You can actually hear it a lot better on something like the flute. So I have my flute here. Let's say you are playing something like I don't know, like Tumnus's Lullaby, okay? And then you play it like you can play like that, but that doesn't actually sound like how it actually sounds in the movie. In the movie, if you actually listen to the recording, it sounds actually more like a reed instrument. So you kind of have to make yourself sound different. So it's almost like doing a different sound effect. Do you hear how that sounds like a totally different instrument than what I did for you before, right? And one of them sounds better for, you know, that particular melody than the other one does, right? So, for example, if you're to do Treasure Planet, okay? If you were to do it in this super operatic style, it doesn't really work. So if you were to go... like, that sounds really wrong, okay? That sounds really wrong. In the recording, it's actually played by what I think is a penny whistle. So you can make your sound super thin. So when you're doing those different sound effects, you're doing tone color. Okay, so you're basically changing the color of your tone. Does that make sense? Yes, and absolutely I do have the triple Hercules stand. So you guys know too much about me. This is actually kind of scary. But it's okay. I love you guys. So let me move that on the side. Okay, back to this piccolo though. It's exactly what I was thinking it was. It's playing with that pocket of air around the bottom front teeth. Yeah. So okay, so I will whoever buys this, I will give you a quick tip. I think a very easy way to change your tone color is just how lightly or how smashed is your piccolo against your teeth. So if you give yourself a lot of room, it's a lot easier to get that really robust tone color. But if you smash the piccolo against your chin, which you technically you shouldn't do that, but if you do, you have like basically what you've done is eliminated a lot of that space, which makes the sound super thin. So This is a Trevor James Blaze hack, okay? Oh, I'm accidentally doing doing dynamics now, but you hear that thin sound is a lot more this is a lot less resistant to the thin sound. So this sound will give you that kind of quintessential wooden instrument piccolo penny whistle sound. This piccolo is very good at that sound. Yeah, it's very good at that sound. So I think this guy kind of specializes in a thin sound that projects. So if you're looking for that sound, this guy will give it to you. Yeah. Okay. Let's now do dynamics. Dynamics, I think what we're working with here. Oops. Wrong one. Give me a second here. So this one. Okay, so dynamics, same idea. I think it's apparently cannot spell dynamics though. Nope, still can't spell dynamics. There we go. Okay, so I think same idea. Everything about what I've described about on this piccolo. Everything bigger for forte, shrink everything down with a lot of support for a piano. So let's try that out. So nice big, very loose here. Get that. I'm gonna get that kind of swirling pocket of air going, and then increase my the width of my airstream and also the amount of air that I am kind of playing outward. Yeah. Huh. Oh, thanks, Scott. So, okay. Thin and piano is really good on this guy. This guy is really good with thin and piano. So I would say that it feels like it's this guy's strength, whereas kind of loud and rich is not so much this guy's strength. It's not that you can't finesse it and that you can't master it, but the strength is definitely in more that thin woodsy sound and like a more of a piano sound that also projects. I like that there's definitely that perfect combination in there. So this is actually the timbre of piccolo that I would say a lot of conductors, composers are looking for when they write piccolo parts into their music. So specifically solo piccolo parts. So this guy would be really good for kind of solo piccolo parts. Would be fantastic. Okay, excellent. So dynamics are done. Let's now do... We've done 3 things so far. Let's do the mechanics. So mechanism. There we go. So F major, all right? Now I'm doing F major. We're going to do, I think I already described to you earlier how this guy feels. Lighter than the Haynes, I feel. We've definitely got that split E going on. Everything else is pretty darn standard. Except that the keys actually feel very wide compared to other piccolos. I have to keep reminding myself to play against my lip and not like across the piccolo. That part I do find a little bit strange. But if you do naturally play that way, you'll love this. Yes, I'm going to have this available later. Don't worry about it. I'm going to trim the beginning, and then I'll have the whole thing up. And if I have time, I will also do a little highlight reel of kind of like the funniest parts and stuff like that. Yeah, it'll be here. Don't worry about it. But you guys will have to wait a little bit while I trim off the beginning waiting section for this. All right, let's do this. I have to play against my lip. I'm just not used to that. All right, see you, Leonardo. Lovely to have you here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. So I play F major because it very neatly starts in the middle of the low register and goes into like about the middle of the high register. So it kind of like hits like kind of the major parts of like in terms of testing. It hits those parts really neatly for me. Yeah. I do apologize, guys. I am not used to playing against my lip. Okay, let's see if I can get it again. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I cannot remember to like hit that like hit my lip instead of the piccolo. Oh my gosh. Aha. Okay, I remember that time. So as long as you actually play against your lip, so when you're blowing your airstream, typically what I tell people is imagine you're holding a coffee straw in your lips and you're blowing through that. So for this one, you have to imagine that coffee straw is inside of your mouth and it's pointed in your lip. So it's like pointed against your lip. So if you go lower, the straw is pointed the end of it is kind of sticking against the bottom of your lip on the inside, and as you go up, it goes higher. Okay. Happy Halloween, Victor. Yeah, as long as I remember to do that, then it's fine. It'll like pop out no problem. But like I'm just not used to playing that way. But yeah, I do agree. The Trevor James does sound very nice, doesn't it? Right? All right. Okay. So mechanism wise, as you guys can hear, very, very smooth. Yeah, no complaints. Very typical piccolo. Very well made typical piccolo is what I would say. Yeah, no complaints at all. I will just say, wow, the spacing of the keys are very wide. So if you have bigger hands and you are a bigger person, you will definitely enjoy this, okay? I am small Asian person, okay? So if you are tall person with big hands, okay? You'll love this. You'll love it. Absolutely. Okay, so let's do last thing for this piccolo, which is articulation. So again, we're going to go through with kind of going to play with the idea of what's going on here. So I have to shoot that kind of like tiny stream of air against my top lip. So I don't think I can tongue too high. I think I have to tongue quite low. So I will probably have to tongue like against the bottom of my top front teeth. I think. So let me try it out. Otherwise, I think I'm going to obstruct the air too much. It's quite low. It's like, I would say it's almost like faux French tonguing, which is, I call it faux French tonguing because true French tonguing is when you go like that. So your tongue comes out from between your lips and then it like zips back. So faux French tonguing I have called, in terms of what I've termed, is when your tongue is between your teeth and then it comes backwards. All right. So yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem to move that much either. My bad. I take that back. I eat my words. Okay? So, I think it's because I'm moving that airstream higher too, against my top lip. My tonguing goes with it. So my tongue is actually underneath that airstream basically. So the airstream is hitting my lip. So this is my lip. And the airstream hits it like this, okay? And then as I go higher, it goes higher like this against my lip. My tongue, this is my tongue now, okay? So my tongue hits the area between my teeth here, and as I go higher with my airstream, I'm tonguing higher up against my top tooth, my top front teeth, and then I come down with it. So I think that's what's happening here. Username, you're joking. You've been watching me since 5 years ago. Now you're planning to major in music ed? Holy crap. What an honor. Thank you so much for watching my stuff. And you're going to do this like for reals now. This is crazy, yo. Congratulations. That's fantastic. Oh, holy crap. That makes my day. Thank you so much. Please spread the love, okay? As you continue to learn more and as you go out and educate others. Please spread the love. The world needs more of it, okay? All right. Michaela, you started watching me since middle school? Holy crap. That's crazy, yo. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a lot cleaner. Okay, so that's single tonguing. Double tonguing will go with it, okay? So double tonguing, that K part of your double tongue will also always kind of be proportional to where the T part of your tongue is. So if my tongue is going like da 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 and going up the tooth, then that means that when I'm lower down, like lower down in lower notes, when I'm doing the double tonguing, the K part is probably going to be really far forward, and then it'll kind of go back a little bit as I play higher notes. I think. Let's try it out, guys. So, because your double tongue is, you can tongue further back in the mouth for your double tonguing on this one. So it's like the K part kind of hits around, I would say, the middle to like maybe just a hair back behind the middle of the roof of your mouth. Because you can do that on this one, I find that double tonguing high on high notes, which is typically, if you are asked to double tongue on the piccolo in like orchestra or something, it's gonna be high, okay? This one lets you double tongue very easily because you feel like you don't have to go like, you know, in the front of your mouth. Okay, it's like kind of like nice and contained in the middle of your mouth. So I will say that double tonguing actually feels surprisingly easier in the higher notes on this piccolo. It's interesting. I've never actually felt that before in a piccolo before. Very interesting. Edison with an X, you also started watching me starting in middle school, and now you're a freshman in your school's wind ensemble. That's awesome. Yo, you guys are just so Thank you so much. You're making my day. I hope you guys know. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think we figured this guy out. We have one more piccolo to go. Now you guys know, okay, how long it takes for me to go through all these instruments. And this is already a lot faster than before. When I first started getting flutes and piccolos in, I didn't have this kind of structure to figure out all these, you know, different instruments. So I would noodle around for like days. Okay. Like it's not like now where I can figure it out real fast. This is considered real fast. I know we've been going for like an hour, more than an hour and a half now. But yeah. Yo guys, I really love live streaming this because I get to talk to you guys directly. This is so nice. David is asking, what is the general price of each trial? So, you mean with the code, you get the trial for like 10 days. It's more so that there's a trial period and then you buy the instrument afterwards, you know? And with my code, like essentially you would pay shipping for the trial. But using my code, you don't have to. It's free shipping, hence the perks, right? Renee, you also like the live streams? Yeah, right? Like, I get to actually talk to you guys. This is really nice. Do you know how lonely it is to try flutes and noodle around by yourself and just sound like a crazy person at home? Do you guys know? Like, at the very least, I am being a crazy person, but getting immediate response, you know? This is so nice. I really like doing this. Okay, guys, I've wiped this guy down. For those of you who are just joining, the reason why I wipe down my instruments is not because I'm a perfectionist. It is because I have like so much oil in my fingers. Like you know, people can probably make money off of the oil that comes out of my skin. All right. So here we go. All right. So back here, guys, we have, I don't know if you guys can see it. One day, guys, one day I will upgrade. One day I will upgrade my setup so that I can have another top-down camera so you guys can see what's going on over there too, okay? So in the back, I have the first one that we tried today, which is a Amadeus by Haynes Piccolo. If you guys missed that earlier, no worries. This live stream will be archived. You guys just have to wait a little bit while I trim off the beginning, okay? Like the beginning, like waiting intro music, you know? The second one is the one that we just tried, which I've listed here, what the specs are. Trevor James Blaze Piccolo. Both of them excellent piccolos. This last one, the Trevor James Blaze, is $1,495. So it's like about $1,500. I don't know if I actually showed you guys a close-up of it, but there you go. Right? Don't the keys look really big? Like, it's pretty crazy. Pretty big and pretty wide, right? So pretty awesome stuff. Excellent. And this is the one with the very rectangular cut wave kind of ridge head joint. So very good. All right, guys. Last one. You guys ready? So we have Powell Sonare. As we can see here, Powell logo. Again, same thing. The pocket is on the outside. This is typical. This is very typical. Looks like maybe the stuff is on the inside. So, gotta get my water here. I considered for a moment to drink some coffee to go with lunch today. And then I decided, no, that'd probably be way too much for me. Like in terms of energy, because I find that doing these live streams actually gives me like a crazy amount of energy. So, you know, let's not, right? Okay, so let's change the specs here, shall we? Okay. All right. Under instruments, let's see what we're working with here. Now we're doing Sonare by Powell Piccolo. Okay, so this is also a granadilla wood stabilized with acrylic resin. So this is another way of saying that this is a composite piccolo. So it's composite, plastic, and wood. So this is head joint and body. And then we have silver plated mechanism. That has been common amongst all three. Split E, also common among all, also common amongst all three. And I'll move it. I know that the list is going off this screen right now. Let's see. This is also a wave style, apparently. Wave style head joint. So similar, it'll probably look similar to have that like ridge and stuff. That's similar to the Trevor James. Pisoni star. Pisoni star pads. So this is the keypads. Stainless steel springs. I think you guys know that though, so I'm not going to put that here. Tuned to A equals 442. All right. So I think most of these are actually tuned to A442. Oh, okay, you know, whatever. I'm just going to write it here. Might as well. So stainless steel springs. A equals 442. So I don't know if this is good. This list is going to be way too long. Yeah, whoa, look at that. Okay, so I'm going to actually, give me a second, guys. I know that's like going right across my face. So let me with acrylic resin. There we go. And then we're going to make this smaller so it can just kind of sit on the side here and be a little bit out of the way. There we go. Okay, so there you guys go. All the specs here. We are now going to go and do harmonics. There we go. Hello, Nightingale. Hello, Canned Dirt. Canned Dirt from over on Twitch. I recognize you. Sugar Chan. You started watching me in 8th or 9th grade? Awesome! You made your school's top group and you improved a lot. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm glad that my stuff helped you out, man. That's great. Please bring my mom to a live stream. I want to, man. I have mentioned this to her as a possible thing, but you know, she needs to kind of like, you know, warm up to it. All right. So can't just spring that on people and be like, yo, you want to be like live to like, you know, like 100 people, you know, like at a time, and then like be on the internet forever after that, you know, like, no. Okay, you gotta like warm people up to it, you know. It's just crazy people like me that are totally okay just kind of coming on here and live streaming, you know. I am definitely a crazy person compared to, you know, most normal people. All right, so all right, let's open this baby up, shall we? This is the Powell. Very interesting inside case is blue. Comes with a, this is more typical of, it's like a, don't tell me this is wood too. Yo guys, I think this is wood too. This is like, yo, people upping their Piccolo game. All three of these had wooden cleaning rods. What the heck? What the heck? I love it. I love it. I'm a fan. Okay, but kind of unexpected. But very interesting inside case, eh? Like nice and like, you know, like the blue. It's not plush, but it's like padded. It's very interesting. Got our case here. Very typical case. Let's whip this baby out. Okay. Oh, very interesting. So even though it's a wood and plastic composite, you can actually still see the wood grains. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that in the light. There we go. In the light, you see that? You can see those wood grains. Quite beautiful. It's all across the entire body. That's really interesting. I think you guys can just make it out. Yeah. Very interesting that, because Mine did not look like that. So mine was one of the predecessors of this model. And you did not see any wood grains on it. So, all right, interesting. Okay, so the I do recognize the cutting. The cutting looks very similar to my old Piccolo. Okay, give me a second, guys. Okay, but yeah, definitely has that wave head joint. So if you guys can see, based on how the light is bouncing off of it, you see that like crazy like sharp ridge right here. So that is the wave style ridge. I call it a ridge, but it's actually just called wave style head joint. See that? See that crazy like sharp drop off? Yeah. So that kind of helps kind of redirect your air into it. Rora, you're still doing your hair while watching this? Awesome. So what I often do is with live streams, especially because live streams, they're like really good live streams are really long live streams like this one. So you just kind of like put it in the background while you do stuff. And it's like, it's great. It's like you have someone talking to you, you know, like it's fantastic. I do it all the time. I put on like podcasts and like live streams and, well, or previous live streams, you know, whatever, you know, and yeah, it's great. So anyway, okay, so definitely I'm feeling like this is a little bit more what I'm used to, but it could be that I'm just used to its predecessor. I also am noticing how light this is compared to mine. My old one was much heavier than this, so they've definitely lightened it up. I do like that. Very good, very good. Yeah, the interesting. Guys, look. It's inline. This is inline. It's an inline G. It's not an offset. Let me show you the other ones. Oh, wow. The Trevor James is a lot heavier than this one. So let me just, there. You see that? Look. This one is offset G. This one is inline G. How interesting. So cool. Huh. Yeah, I noticed that as soon as I started playing, I was like, wait, I have to kind of like reach a little bit more. So this is good for people who have long ring fingers. Okay. So long fingers, but I do find that it's kind of like a little closer than the Trevor James. So the Trevor James, like the spacing was really wide, but this one I don't feel that the spacing is particularly wide, but it is an inline G. How interesting. G sharp key is a little bit resistant, but the rest of the keys, really nice. Really nice. So I'm going to guess that this is one of those things that need to be adjusted. New instruments always have to be adjusted. They kind of like settle. It's almost like having a new house, right? The new house kind of like settles, you know, like it's just kind of the first year, it just kind of like, you know, and then you get little like hairline cracks, nail pops, etc. So that's exactly what happens on a new instrument. It kind of has to settle. You have to break it in. So this might be one of those things that has to just kind of be broken in and like kind of readjusted. So this one's a little bit resistant. Excellent. Ooh, very light. I will say, in general, the keys on this one are much lighter than the other ones. So if you like light keys, you'll really like this one. Yeah, yeah. I'm not partial to the Powell Sonare. I'm experienced with it. That's why. When you're experienced with something, you tend to know more about it, which is why I can tell you guys all this stuff. All right, let's try it out. Harmonics and technically noodling, okay? Oh, thank you, Faith. I do appreciate it. Is by the way, if you're since you're just kind of coming in here, this is what we're trying out right now. That's this guy right here. So I'm just starting to figure him out a little bit. He does remind me. He does remind me of my old one. All right, give me a second, guys. I'm trying to find a way to articulate how this feels. Okay, I will say, the bubble of air and the airstream is kind of intersecting. So that bubble of air is kind of like right behind my top lip. And it's doing a very similar thing to the Trevor James, where that like little tiny thin airstream is actually hitting my lip, but just a little lower. So it's like a little lower than the Trevor James. Yeah, and the pocket of air is like more on the top end. So it's not bottom heavy like the Haynes. It's kind of very top heavy, I guess you could say. Let me experiment with it a little bit more. Yeah, it's interesting. If you try to make it bottom heavy, it doesn't do anything to the sound. It's really interesting. Okay, you know what? This is really interesting. So that pocket of air is not as high as I thought it was, but it's not as low as the Haynes. I would say it's just a hair higher than the Trevor James. So I almost feel like this Piccolo is like a combination of these two. The Amadeus by Haynes Piccolo and the Trevor James Blaze. This is a combination of the two. So the pocket of air is like hovering, I would say between your top teeth and your bottom teeth, but kind of more towards your bottom teeth. So you kind of feel like a swirling bubble of air, like right here in the middle, kind of front side of your mouth, but in the middle. Okay. And then as you go higher, it's similar to the Trevor James in that you have to kind of blow against your lip. So you blow against your lip, but it is like the Amadeus in that it's a little bit counterintuitive. So you have to blow more across. So across and hitting your top lip for lower notes. And then you angle the airstream further down and you hit a lower point of your top lip as you go higher. So that part is like the Amadeus. This is like if they had a baby, is this. Okay? That's very interesting. Yeah, that's exactly it. Holy crap. I was just trying that out to just test out my theory, and I think my theory is correct. Oh, Nightingale. This is not a review about my Nagahara Mini, okay? So we're not going to whip that out during this this stream. This stream is only on these 3 Piccolos, because let me be real honest with you, that's what I was paid for, okay? This is a sponsored live stream by our lovely Flute Center of New York, okay? So we are going to do exactly what I agreed to do with them. Yes. So, all right, let's see. Wow, that's crazy. It's a very nice sound. I would say that it's like, it really is like if Amadeus, this Amadeus by Haynes, Piccolo, and Trevor James had a baby. That is exactly what this guy feels like and sounds like too. Like, it just sounds like right in the middle of these two. This is so interesting. Okay. What are we doing now? I believe we are doing tone color. So if our theory is true that the Sonare by Powell is basically the Trevor James Blaze and the Amadeus by Haynes baby, okay, then we are going to be playing with that kind of like bubble of air in the middle of our mouth, like between our teeth, that is. Front of the mouth, between the teeth. That's probably what we're going to be playing with tone color. Let's try it out. So, for those of you who are just joining, let me reiterate. Tone color, okay, I find happens in 2 ways, okay, in terms of manipulating it, okay? You either manipulate the airstream itself or you manipulate some form of negative space around it. Now, because we're playing piccolos here, the airstream is so tiny that you can't really do much with it anyway. Okay, they're not as malleable as on flutes. So you end up playing with the negative space instead. In these cases, that pocket of air that you can really feel spinning. So if you make that pocket of air kind of like wide and flat, like you squash it horizontally, it should give you a richer sound. If you squash it vertically, it should give you a thinner sound. Okay, and now why do you use tone color? It's because you don't always want to sound like an opera singer, okay? Because sometimes you want that like thin penny whistle sound. It's almost like sound effects, essentially, okay? So you want to have that flexibility of kind of like playing with different tone colors. It makes you a much better player, okay? You have a lot more flexibility, a lot more colors to choose from. If the conductor wants you to sound a certain way, you can actually deliver, you know what I mean? So, okay, tone color. Julian! Hi, how are you? I recognize you from Twitch. Can you guys hear the difference? It's a lot more subtle on the piccolo. You can hear it more on a flute, because a flute, in terms of like that negative space and the airstream itself, much more malleable than on a piccolo. Do you hear it going to that thinner sound? So this guy, I would say, is more like the Trevor James in that the specialty seems to be more in the thinner sound, that thinner woodsy piccolo sound, which is, I mean, exactly like I said for the Trevor James. That's pretty much what conductors kind of want to hear out of a piccolo. Like conductors and composers, when they write like specific piccolo solos, they typically want that kind of like ethereal, sort of like thinner woodsy sound rather than like a really robust sound on the piccolo. Like most people don't think of the piccolo sounding really robust, you know what I mean? So if a piccolo can get that sound out really easily, you're gonna have a really good time soloing with it. Yeah. I don't know if you guys could hear it there. Yeah. So it is exactly what I thought it was. It's that pocket of air. So if you make it really wide, I don't know if you can see my whole mouth was contorting with it. Like everything got really wide. And then to get to the other sound, I like squashed it inwards. Let me do it one more time so you guys can see. Yeah, you guys can see that, right? Like it's kind of going like this. Yeah. What's my favorite Piccolo solo? Okay. It's not my favorite, but is by far my favorite reactions out of people. Is there's a specific opera. I forget what the name of the composer, but there's this iconic Piccolo solo where you're just holding one note for 8 bars of 4/4 going like this. And you are supposed to sound really creepy, okay? So like it's a creepy part of the opera, and you're supposed to kind of like, it's very atmospheric. So it's only one note, but the effect that you get out of it is amazing. Yeah. I nearly died doing that one, but it was great. I pulled it off. I pulled it off. And I pulled it off in concert too. So, but I mean, like, yeah. So, if you have a piccolo that can get you that thin sound really easily, doing something like that, you'll have a lot more control and you won't feel like you're squashing. You know what I mean? Like the piccolo will just kind of like do it for you. Have I ever played pick in a jazz band? No. I've never even heard of that, actually. Is that a thing? Also, I will leave jazz to the jazz people. I'm a classical person. I enjoy jazz. Jazz is magical to me, and I don't want jazz to become work to me, if that makes sense. Classical music has now become work to me. So every time I listen to classical music, I just go into work mode. So I can't relax to it. It's not that I get like, you know, anxiety. It's that I just go into work mode. I'm not relaxing, you know? So yeah. But jazz though, man, smooth jazz, that stuff, ooh, so relaxing. It's been described to me as very boring sounding music, but let me tell you, I freaking love it. Love it. Okay, we're going to do dynamics. Again, we're just going to take everything that we described about how this piccolo plays. We're going to make everything giant with lots of air for forte, and then make everything super tiny with lots of support for piano. And that should work. So that kind of pocket of air needs to get real big. Lots of air through for forte. And then piano, everything super tiny. Oh man, did you guys hear that? Oh, this guy's real good on for pianos. Oh yeah. Lots of control, man. This and the Trevor James, very good for like woodsy, thin, ethereal piano. Very good. Lots of projection too. I would say that the Trevor James, I think, projects just a hair more than this one. But this one, very good. So like if the Trevor James doesn't feel good to you, chances are, like if you like everything to just kind of be like right a little higher, you might like this one. Also, I find that if you find an instrument that actually matches you more, like the most, you can control it the best. Like you can make that thing project. You can finesse it, you know? Oh my gosh, thank you, Julian, for the super chat. Oh, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Oh, thank you. You know what? $2 is a lot in YouTube land, okay? Let me tell you, the amount of money that I make off of my videos is minimal, okay? Like, it's only enough to subsidize, like, a few coffees a month and maybe some Chipotle. That's it. Like, I don't earn a lot of money off of YouTube. So thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Okay. We have done dynamics now. By the way, if you guys want your question definitely to be answered, super chat is one of the ways to go because I can see it. Holy crap. Yeah, YouTube just makes it very easy for me to see it. So wonderful. Okay, so we've done dynamics. So we've done 3 things, right? Okay, so 4th thing, let's do mechanism. So if I can spell it. Apparently today is not the day for spelling. Mechanism, we're going to do F major. If you're just tuning in, it's because I hit the middle of the low register, go through the middle register, and hit the middle of the high register. It's a great way to just kind of really quickly test what the piccolo likes. Okay? So we're going to do F major scale, and then we're going to do F major in thirds. I had to really think about, like, you know, like what I said about how this piccolo likes to play. If I do it, it'll do it. Yeah. Oh, it's very good. Very light mechanism. It does kind of feel like the B flat thumb and the G sharp key needs to be adjusted. But as soon as these two are adjusted, the rest of it is very light. Yeah. My gosh, Candor, thank you so much. Ah, you guys are great. Thank you so much. All right. Dallamore, you ripped through F, G, D major scales and arpeggios today. Yes, good job. Candor, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So now what you guys done is the two of you have single-handedly funded a coffee for me, just like that. You know, that is a lot more than what I think normally earn on one of my videos these days. So I think I'm actually making the most money off of like older videos that are really popular. But in terms of like new videos that I put out, don't earn very much money. I think like you guys have already paid me more. So thank you. I do appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, yo, Julian, don't, okay? Like, I do not want to, like, drain you guys of your accounts, okay? That's not what this is for, okay? If it just so happens that you want to support, I absolutely appreciate it. But if you can't, don't worry about it, okay? I get it. I have been there. I know what it's like to be really broke. I'm a musician. I know. Okay, so it's totally fine. Like, really just you guys talking to me, thank you so much. It already like completely makes my day. Okay, let's try this F major in thirds, yeah? There we go. Yeah, same. Very, very light with two, like this guy. Like if I were to do E flat major. Yeah, so it's just B flat thumb key and the G sharp key needs to be readjusted. And as soon as those two are readjusted, it'll be fantastic. Let's now do, yeah, everything else is super light. That's crazy. Oh my gosh, Jane, thank you. I do know your name is Jane. Thank you so much for the £9.99. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Remember, guys, you can also ask a question with your super chat, all right? But thank you so much. Much appreciated. You have now funded Chipotle for me. Thank you. Thank you so much. couple coffees. Yeah, that will get me 2 coffees. Thank you so much. Because I am dairy intolerant, so I have to get that almond milk. Yeah. My goodness, thank you so much. I mean, probably gonna use that for Chipotle. I'm gonna be really real with you guys. Okay, mechanism. What are we gonna do now? My gosh, you guys are making me blank because I'm just like so like loved right now. Thank you. Mechanism. Last thing on our list, right? Articulation. All right. Single tongue. So because Jeff, thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. So you guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. All right. Now, if we take what we're doing in here, okay, with our, like, you know, the pocket of air spinning between our teeth, and then a lot of the kind of action is happening kind of against the top lip, I'm going to guess it's going to be something like the Trevor James. Okay, so the Trevor James tonguing was like around the middle of the teeth, and then it was kind of like going up the top tooth. So now I might have to do the backwards of it. So maybe I have to start from the top of the tooth and go down, because it's flipped in terms of like lower notes. I have to actually hit it higher and then tilt it lower. Like I'm hitting a lower point to go higher. Okay, so I'm gonna guess I need to start tonguing from from like middle top of the top front teeth, and then as I hit higher notes, I have to lower my tongue down to tongue more on like the bottom of my top front tooth, something like that. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. I do appreciate it. My goodness. Seems the wave head joints are harder to play. No, they're actually technically easier to play because they kind of redirect your air into the piccolo for you. But I'm guessing it's in the redirection, maybe it's that you play against your lip more. You know? So that's why, like, maybe that's why some people find wave head joints to not be their thing versus kind of more of a more traditional head joint. I have heard this. Again, thank you so much, Jeff. Haha, I think I'm right. So I have to start from the top of my tooth, go down as I go higher, and then come back up as I go down again. So counterintuitive. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think the Tsubasa head joint was the wave head joint too. I think so. Don't quote me on that, but I think so. I like that head joint. Okay. Double tonguing. So double tonguing is same idea. Chances are double tonguing in the lower octave will be nice for this one. Okay? Because we're starting from the top and then for low notes and then going down for higher notes, right? So that means that when I'm double tonguing, I'm going to be double tonguing against sort of the middle of my mouth for lower notes, and then it's going to go forward. Okay? And it's going to be more forward and probably has to be quite light for the higher octave. So let's try this out. I'm right. Yes. We did it. Yep. That was it. All right. So some of y'all are asking me to whip out my piccolo to compare. I don't think that is a fair comparison because that is a very different animal than these guys. Okay. Partially it's because it is a cylindrical piccolo. These are not. These are conical piccolos, meaning that they are cone-like. Okay, so the bottom here is quite a bit smaller than, let me just, there we go, than the opening here. As you can see, bigger, smaller. Okay, so you know, it's not fair too. Okay, maybe what I can do is get the Flute Center New York to send me some Nagaharas to try, but just not my own. I've made that mistake before. Okay, trying my instrument in front of, or choosing an instrument in front of you guys, and like, for me, no, like I'm not about that life anymore. All right, so we have our piccolos here. They were absolutely beautiful. It took exactly how long I thought it would take. So it was like 15-20 minutes to actually like to do like that intro of like, oh, the perks and, you know, JAF coupons and stuff like that. And you guys already know about that, okay? Like if you guys are part of the stream, you guys already know about the JAF coupon, all right? So took about 15-20 minutes to do that, and then 2 hours to do this. I knew it would take that long. So we are right on schedule. I'm ending exactly when I thought I would end. And we figured them all out, guys. Yeah. So this last one, by the way, the Sonare Piccolo is $2,192. So this is about $2,200 dollars. So we're looking at $2,200, $1,500, and was it $2,500 beyond that. So very similar specs. And I think very interestingly they played like it was like two parents and a child, you know, like it was very interesting. I thought it was so interesting that the Sonare was like a combination of the two. But yeah, the other two, very good if you are a larger person than me. I'm quite a short person. So if you're a larger person than me, you have large hands, you will really like the Haynes and the Trevor James. If you have a very long ring finger, or if you're a piano player, I hear piano players really like inline Gs, you'll really like the Sonare. Okay. So yeah, it all just kind of depends on how you play, what you feel like you like. If you like a more kind of bottom heavy playing, the Haynes will be great. If you like more kind of forward playing, you'll like either the Trevor James or the Sonare. So, you know, it really just kind of depends on you. All right. All of them sound great. Yeah. They cost more than your Zoom. These are like, these are a pretty penny, and they, you can tell why, okay, from the way that they play. Absolutely. Oh, thanks guys. You guys are so sweet. So I think it is my time. It is time. It is my time, my turn, my whatever. I've been trying Piccolos for so long now. I'm like, my brain is kind of fried right now, but a nice kind of fried. So, this live stream is going to be archived. It's going to be archived unlisted while I trim off the beginning. I need to kind of figure out how that works. I think it's relatively easy to do that. So, yeah. So for those of you who are just joining, don't worry. This live stream will be back on for you to watch for eternity. Okay, well, that's it, guys. Remember, use my code JAF that I don't have written here because you know what? Maybe I should do that. Here. Let me do that. Okay, text JAF. There we go. And then we're gonna do select font. I'll make sure it's the same font. Okay. There, and then JAF. Yes. And then we are going to give it an outline of 4, but we want the outline to be black. There we go. Very high production here, guys. Very high production. There we go. Oh, maybe that's a little too big. There we go. So here we go, guys. JF. So use my code if you would like. Totally up to you. I do get a commission if you do. And the perks are, well, I listed at the beginning of this live stream, so you guys can go back and check it out. But yeah, use my code JAF at the Flute Center of New York to try these beautiful piccolos. Yes. So thank you, Flute Center of New York, for sending this over and for allowing me to live stream it. I still think the live stream idea is just like, this is the best. This is fantastic because I get to talk to you guys. So love you all very much. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. All right, guys. Until the next live stream, which I will figure out when is another good time to do a live stream, I'll let you guys know. Okay. But until then, see you later. Stay happy, healthy, and safe. Goodbye.